Over the past few years, the Namibian poultry industry has experienced a significant surge of growth due to the emergence of small-scale and backyard poultry farmers. Though these producers are doing their best to achieve success, the obstacles they face are immense. In 2015, Willem Amutenya embarked upon his poultry project, and his journey to reach where he is today has been quite challenging. To learn more about the poultry industry, Ongwe Media recently visited Amutenya's farm, Nam-Wi, at the village of Ihongo in the Oshikoto region. During the visit, Amutenya shared his story, discussing topics such as management, finance, marketing, biosecurity, capacity building, feed, government support, and many other related issues.
This is a Nam-Wi Poultry farm. We are in Ihongo village, this is Oshikoto region. We started this poultry farm in 2015, where we started with Bushfelders. We were buying chicks from Windhoek. At that time I was based in Windhoek. I was working in Windhoek by then, so I used to buy chicks, send them down here to the farm, and I had one worker by then who was taking care of the chicks, and then they grow, they become bigger chickens. At the same time, then we managed to buy an incubator. When we brought the incubator here, we then started also soliciting eggs. Our focus was then to sell chicks to the farmers. At the same time, we must also have our chickens that we then sell, so that we don't buy chicks any longer. So they started. We started having around 300 chicks in a week. Actually, that was our production rate. Every week we must have 300 chicks getting out of the machine, going 300 to 400. And some we sell them, some stays, we grow them as big chickens, and then we sell them to those that are having events. We brought up the ducks just to keep the farm a bit live. We brought some guinea fowls. We also then brought some turkeys. We got into the eggs production venture last year. Our chickens arrived here last year in May. That's when they got here. We received 1,000 layers. Those are the ones that we ordered at point of lay. And unfortunately, as you see, they are no longer 1,000 in here. It's part of poultry. We have lost around 100. That's with the time when they arrived here. We have ordered our cages, but then our supplier could not deliver our cages on time. So we were forced to keep some of the layers in the cages, but some had to be on the floor. And around 300, that's a big number, and we did not have so much infrastructure prepared to take care of the chickens on the floor. So cannibalism really took place so much that chickens were eating each other because the environment was so confined. So as we speak, we have 856 in this farm. Those are the brown Lochman layers that are giving us roughly around 680 eggs daily. Sometimes obviously fluctuates. It comes down to 500. It goes depending on the weather, depending on the temperature, how cold, how hot, and how windy it is, the distractions, and mostly also the day when these guys are cleaning. When we are cleaning, it distracts. There's a lot of distractions, and in those days you will see a drop on their production. So this is what we have.
Maybe you should also talk about your market, your customers, and the competition there.
We have a very good market. I must be very honest with you. The market is very good because we have, the first thing that we have done is to strengthen our marketing. We have a very strong social media network that is on Facebook and Instagram, Nam-Wi Poultry, and most of our clients come through there. That is one part. The major one is we had to go out and introduce our products to the consumers. We have one of our major supply of eggs is Airport Lodge. Airport Lodge, come on, that place, I think so many, they have a lot of clients that get there. When you get to an Airport Lodge and you are eating an egg, it's a product of Nam-Wi Poultry Farm. Wow. So with the small young boys that are trying to hustle in the streets selling eggs, those are my biggest clients. I supply them with eggs and they buy a lot of trays daily. It's a whole chain of production, chain of business. They buy the eggs and they bring back the trays. Wow, so the issue of recycling comes in, and then you give them at a good price. Because you say, come on, I'm no longer going to buy a tray, then we are recycling the trays. The competition, not so much in the eggs production because the market is there. Honestly speaking, I do not feel the pinch of competition in this, except the issue of the pricing. That part is key. You know, at the beginning I wanted my eggs to go in the shells, but then the competition comes with, you know, the big guys that have been supplying ShopRite, Pick and Pay, and so forth. Therefore, when I realized how deep it is, because those guys, their pricing is a bit low because they are producing in a larger scale, I pulled out. Therefore, I don't feel their competition in any way. In every house, people are consuming eggs, breakfast, bed and breakfast facilities. We have hotels, we have hospitals, patients there. We have hostels, that being NTF, police, and every hostel facilities of this government. And we have then the shops that we are giving eggs as well. But at this point in time, I must be thankful to the local market that we have.
This should be one of your success stories, the layers.
The layers is one of our best successful stories that I can tell you. That in here, come on, there's no loss unless if you are not doing your good numbers, you're not calculating well. As much as the feed is increasing, you also need to play around with your numbers.
The people are of the opinion that ducks do not have market here in the local.
Oh, they do not. They haven't possibly gone around and market their products because many people want ducks for consumption and even for keeping, for domesticating. So we had like last year, I remember we have sold around 50 ducks within 2 months. So the market is there. There is no bird, there is no poultry that has no market in this country, honestly speaking. It's just that possibly we haven't spread the news of what we are doing in our respective farms.
We have seen that some poultry businesses are closing due to feed. The feeds are becoming expensive on a daily basis, and also our local, when we want to increase the tray of eggs, people also are reluctant to buy. Are you also feeling that pinch?
We are affected, and I must be very, very serious on this one. That feed is becoming a great concern. When I started with poultry, I remember buying layer mesh at 295 when I started. As we speak, one bag of layer mesh feed master is 547. Nutri feed, it's another type. They are costing $504. This shop, then that's excluding your transport to go and get this feed. So the feed is way expensive, and it's because obviously we have a monopoly of production of feed in this country, and that is a serious concern. It's something that we can pack and discuss at another time. But with these chickens, unfortunately, and I would understand when there are some that are leaving the industry, because you cannot improvise with these brown Lochman layers. You cannot say I must give mahango, because my production of mahango, I produce mahango at my farm, but the mahango I sustain it with the other, or I give it to the other chickens, the Boschfelders, the Sasso, and so forth, ducks. Those ones I give them mahango, supplement mahango with all this. But these guys, when you do not have feed, layer mesh, then you have no production. You will see we give them all other different feed. They might not eat. They might eat. The eggs would even become very, very small, no quality. The color will change and all that. These chickens, you might actually lose them. So feed is a great concern that we as a society need to think about how best we can maximize and get an opportunity to have our feed production in this country. Otherwise, for the future, we might not have this industry. Currently, no solution unless we say we need private business people to come in. That really, if we have maize in this country, we are producing maize. All what we need is just the supplements that we need to add in, the additives that we add in, the calcium, minerals, and all those elements that we add in to have this feed production. Otherwise, I think we need to motivate the entrepreneurs that are able to invest in machineries to produce feed at a larger scale, to challenge the feed master that we only have here that are producing feed, and they increase their prices every week. You go to the shop, you find the prices increased.
Yeah.
Now, to me as a farmer, how often would I increase my price as well? It destabilizes the market. It destabilizes my market on this side. So it's really a great concern from the business perspective.
One thing I have seen farmers, poultry farmers also compromising is vaccination, where a person enters into the business, but then they don't vaccinate. And at the end of the day, they don't even know the types of diseases that affects their chicken.
Donateni, biosecurity in poultry production is key, and it must be well understood by a farmer. Those must be the basics to educate your workers when it comes to biosecurity. It starts from the prevention. That is why when we got in here, we had to feed bath and then sanitize our hands to make sure that wherever we are coming from, getting different chickens, or probably you have met someone in town coming from a house where chickens are, the infection, you can easily bring it here. So what we are supposed to do is to prevent. When you prevent, then you must be able then to vaccinate. What we do, we have a vaccination program for our layers, and we stick to that vaccination program. We spray, we do much of the spray. The injection is something that we are a bit hesitant, though there's coryza that you vaccinate through through injection. It's a bit challenging, but we do that quite often. But vaccination is the most important thing. The other thing what we do is we also have what we call our water program, the drinking program. These are our drinkers. It's connected to the system, but we have a drinking program, as to say we give chili on a specific day. Chili is a very, very good, it's a product, it's something that we produce ourselves. So we can have our own chilies at the farm, and then we put in the water, they destroy the worms, it change the pH and the environment of the crop or the system of the chicken, that they kill the worms. Instead of you going to buy piperazine, that is a deworming, you can make use of chili. So we have chili that we use at the farm. We also have the neem. You see the neem, we plant a lot of neem trees at this farm. We also put them in there. Then there comes the OptiBoost and all the other elements that we add in. But the drinking program is also very important to prevent infections. When we see a chicken that has symptoms, what do? We isolate immediately. And then we treat the chicken on the other side to avoid contamination with all other chickens. The other thing that we also do is the cleaning and the disinfection. When we clean, we only after a day we clean. If they cleaned yesterday, so today they are not cleaning, tomorrow they have to clean. They have to remove the drops. When they remove the drops, then they disinfect again with either Logasen or Sandrox. That is what we normally use in these houses. The chicken manure, I call them the assets of this farm. Chicken manure. We make sure that we do not take them to waste. We compost it naturally here, and then we sell them to the farmers.
Wow.
We pack them in a 50 kg bags. But for the last 3 months, I've decided I'm not selling, because we want to make use of them for our crop production, because it's a rainy season now, and we have a small production for the farm, for the workers and ourselves, and therefore we have put our chicken manures there. At the same time, we also put them at our trees. We have an orchard here at the farm, and most of our chicken manure, then we compost it and then put it at our orchard. As we speak, we have 3 workers at the farm. They stay here, accommodated here. They even produce their small crops around here. When they start, we give them hardcore detailed training from the practical perspective. How the cages works, how diseases are identified from the drops already, from the appearance of a chicken, we give them a detail on quality assurance. The eggs must have quality in terms of how they are packed, cleaning before packaging, and making sure that the package is correctly done, no drops, no dirty, and until when we are dispatching the eggs to our clients. So workers need to be capacitated.
But does government get involved when it comes to the protection of these types of businesses?
That's a concern, because the protection has 2 different ways. I look at it in 2 different perspectives. An issue of closing off, so that what we can produce, we can easily sell them. If we import eggs from South Africa, government is so good at saying we close off the borders because we have enough eggs production here. that one is happening and I accredit it. But there's a very, very biggest concern that I have in terms of how do we have a policy that prevents a foreign investor from coming in this country and set up a chicken production, let me say, of 10,000 layers. Because when a foreign investor gets here and set up a production of 10,000 layers or even 20,000 layers or more, unfortunately most of us are going to fall out. So that is a concern. But on the other hand, also, if we, the local people, local young people, entrepreneurs, are not getting into the industry, we cannot, I believe, as a leader, as myself, I would not say we must prevent investors from setting up such big production when we, the local people, are not interested to get into it. Because we cannot go hungry because we want to protect the industry. People still need to be sustained when it comes to some of these products. So it is something that we need to support government as well, that we must have the interest, serious interest, that we are getting into the business, so that the government can also see that indeed we need to close up this issue, and then we leave it for the local people to do so, provided that we take care of the quality of what we are producing as well, to make sure that our people are not fed with things that are of low quality.
Startup capital also has been a major challenge.
Yeah, that one is a major challenge. That is why I think with institutions that the government is also coming in with the institutions like Agribank, where services are there to say we have packages of the young people, youth and women package. It's there. Young people must go and get some little funds to start. For this, honestly speaking, with even a 500 chickens, you can do it within a 50,000 that you can request from the bank. And then you pay off back that 50,000, and then you continue building. The government also supports local, young farmers who are trying this way to say we give you a number of bags of feed, we give you cages, we give you, buy for you layers and go and start. So, but young people do not want to take these things seriously. So our young people also need to change their mindset when it comes to the dynamics that where we are in now. If you are talking about local economy, we cannot develop the local economy when ourselves are not getting into the production. More especially when it comes to food production. This is an industry, it's up for grabs by everyone, so I still believe we can.
We can also look at poultry industry in Namibia. We can see it picking up, but at the same time you see people withdrawing again from the business. Perhaps you would like to say something there.
When I grew up, my parents' house, this is my village. Growing up, there was no value to a chicken. You know, when you see these eggs, you say ShopRite eggs. They are known to come from ShopRite. They are only bought from ShopRite. I did not grow up knowing that these eggs can be produced by myself, because this industry has been occupied by a different group of people. Growing up then, getting to elementary agriculture in grade 7 there, that is where I picked up that anyone can do this production. Until university, I haven't seen in my eyes these chickens in this fashion. Later on, I happened to pick up that there's one of my senior, later Teroni, who is growing chickens. And that had inspired me. That is why then we also ended up growing this. But look, in Namibia, our generation still do not much value business that involves dirty hands, where your hands have to get dirty. Okay? We have farmers that are trying to get into the industry, but still, to be honest with you, it's very slow. There are people that you give training to on the poultry. They get in, they pull out. So, but the need for it is massive. But the seriousness of us to get into the poultry industry, it might be there because of interest that develops as a hobby. I want to have my chickens. But to get it to a massive production as a business, as an enterprise, to be honest with you, it's not picking up so well. We need to understand where money is. If we are talking about unemployment in this country, where graduates are roaming around the streets, but they have not I haven't studied agriculture, but I find myself doing this, and it's out of research and out of experience. What I'm trying to say here is that we have an industry that is not fully occupied by us as local people. Therefore, an opportunity for young people to join and get into this venture. This is where money is, honestly speaking. They might, and it's, as much as it might cost you a little bit of a lot to start, but the moment you establish, being here, not employed for distance, doing your business, it moves on. Food security, income generation, and wealth generation. I wish all of the farmers, there comes this 2023 to be a year of production, a year of capacitating our production, a year of also making sure that our production is more of a commercial, though it's within a communal area. The way we produce, the way we do what we do within our production, we must commercialize it so that we really see the profit out of it.